Now we're going to take a look at the north-south choke. Everyone has a different flavor on this technique, myself included. The important things in this that everyone miss. One, turning their face away with the ribcage. There's nothing more important than that. If you turn their face away and you dominate their head, when they go to bridge, they're not going to be able to move you because you're going to be on their head, not on their body. Number two, and it kind of plays along with that, is that if you're having a hard time finishing this choke, it's not that you're not strong enough, it's that you're probably not north-south enough, all right? You need to continue moving into the north-south so that you can separate the chin from the body. Let's take a look at this. So I like to start my north-south chokes from side control with a head lasso. Important thing, when you go to head lasso and you scoop the head, those fingertips need to be pushing into the floor, all right? If you don't, you might get reverse Kimura to some other trash right here. So I'm nice and tight. I bring that arm over top of the head, and I come back down underneath. Turn for a second. You can see that my fingertips are pushing into the floor. Super, super, super important. None of this. If you do this, you grab your wrist and just pushes it away, everyone's going to laugh at you, okay? Fingertips into the floor. Now from here, I'm going to start to move my body. You can see his head's off the floor. That's common. His head being on the floor, that's common as well. But watch how his chin and his body turns away. I dip my pelvis, and then I'm going to use my rib cage to turn the head. That's the most important thing, guys. None of this. None of this squeezing, no moving back. No. My ribs, my fingertips are on the floor, my ribs go down, my belly button's down, and I use my rib cage to turn his face away. Super, super, super important. Now from here, if you do this correctly, you won't need both hands. You'll need just one in practice. In tournament, both hands you're going to squeeze, okay? But from here, I'm going to use my hand to chalk the hip. I'm going to keep moving back. I'm going to keep moving back. And then from here is where most people squeeze. I want you to keep moving back. Keep moving back. Now from here is where I'm going to squeeze with one arm. You can't see it, but I wasn't even using my other arm. My other arm was to block the hip, all right? If you do this right, it only takes one arm. In practice, tournament, squeeze, all right? But make sure your technique's right. Control, arm over, I lasso the head. Look at those fingers. Dip my pelvis. Watch how I drop my body back, and look at how I lead with the rib cage. Even if he's looking into me, I'm going to use my rib cage to scoop that. Now from here, more north-south, more north-south, more north-south, more north-south, and then from here, where my ear is in his armpit, that's where I'm going to squeeze. Arm over, lasso. Look at those fingertips. Drop my pelvis, use my rib cage, turn the head. Turn. Turn. This hand up here by the hip. Now this isn't far enough. More north-south. More north-south. And you can see that I'm keeping pressure in. If he's trying to come towards me with his hips, that hand blocks until I get here. Now, I can bring my hand to the inside, and if you want to connect your hands, you can. But remember, in practice, if you're doing it right, you should be able to do it with one hand. Keeping in mind, guys, the thing that a lot of people miss, when I lasso the head and we're here, all right, you've got those arteries that run. If you squeeze here, you might finish him. But when I go more north-south, the back of my shoulder will pull his chin and extend his neck. And what I want you to think of is taking a straw. And if you grab both ends of that straw and you pull them away tightly, all right, it won't cut off the blood flow in the middle of the straw, but it will make an irregular pattern when it is stretched that way. That restricts blood flow. The cutoff comes from squeezing. But we need to make sure to use all the techniques we have. And although it might be an inefficient way to restrict blood flow by pulling, you're not using any extra power to get that. So, like, leverage-wise, why wouldn't you do that? Keep moving your body back. Use your chin to pull that head up, and then that way when those arteries are stretched and they're irregular, and then we start to squeeze, the power is amazing. Here, head lasso, fingertips. Can you see those fingertips?
Yep.
Good. Pelvis low, body turns the face. Now from here, if he starts to bridge, I'm on his head, I'm not on his body. Keep moving, north-south. Boom, over top the arm. That'll be a difficult part, guys. Especially when they're in here tight. Getting that arm to the inside can be difficult. Don't let pressure up on his face. More north-south. Then from here, I squeeze. If you want to squeeze here, you can connect your hands. That's good as well. No problem. But the most important thing is keeping your rib cage, turning the face away. Keep that in mind, and you'll always be in a good position.